Everybody has an opinion.
No, I don't think so.
I employ that bloke for when gigs are going bad.
You look incredibly rock and roll.
How would you cook that?
Be more entertaining. I'm glad you like that. It's a little bit of weed.
Hey.
Hey, welcome back everyone to This Week in Comedy episode
11. Yeah, well, and we got some feedback from the last episode 10. I think Eloise Eftos.
Yes, we have a correction for Eloise Eftos. She was born in Perth.
What did you say, Adelaide? Or?
I think so, something like that. I do apologise.
No, she is a Perthian, a Perther.
Perth.
A Perther.
Perthian?
A new Perther.
Perth, yeah.
A flat Perther.
Flat Perther, there we go.
Wait a second. Are you a flat earther?
Well, yes, so sorry about that, Eloise, but she did reach out to us and say we got it wrong. She did like the rest of the podcast.
Yeah, good.
Hopefully listen to this one, Eloise.
Shout out to Ali.
You feel me?
Jumping right into it. This Week in Comedy News, guys. Celeste Barber and Appy Robin have separated after 20 years.
Now,
No! God, please, no!
can I confirm? So Celeste Barber is the woman that dresses up as a model, or she copies a beautiful model in a similar type of G-string or risque lingerie.
Yes.
And then tries to behave in the same way and showcase the ludicrousy of that position or that pose.
Correct, with the everyday woman. So it's like the juxtaposition, I guess, of how silly modelling can be, but also with a real woman's body, quote unquote.
And Appy is her partner.
Yes, now some people might recognise him better by Hot Husband, which was the name given to him by Celeste through her career, I guess. Yeah, so they were together for 20 years and have split up. They're sided again, very amicable. It's just one of those things, I guess. Yeah.
Now, nothing to do with her weight loss because she's dropped a bit of weight.
Yeah, she looks great. She's got a banging bod.
I don't know if you're allowed to say that. She looks good.
She looks good?
I don't know. Yeah, you're allowed to say great. Isn't it body positivity? I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, I will say, as I've been every weight, so I feel like I can say this, everyone's body positive until they get their hands on a bit of Ozempic. And then all of a sudden the body they're positive about all of a sudden is a little bit smaller.
Oh, okay. Ozempic, and that's the product that isn't sponsoring this particular episode.
No,
that
although
if
there's a GLP-1 provider out there or stockist, I don't know if anyone's seen that episode of South Park where the boys make their own compounding pharmacy to produce Ozempic for Cartman so that he can finally lose weight. And he does, and it's funny. If anyone's out there who's got a overpile or overstock of GLP-1s, we'll take them off your hands.
All right, allegedly.
All
right. So Celeste Barber, so are we going to see no more now that she's lost the weight and looks like the models that she's trying to parody?
Well, no, she's still doing it. She's still going.
Oh.
I think some people say it's played out. I think that she can definitely pivot on that. And quite frankly, she's moved on. She's a personality now, isn't she? She's more than just her Instagram posts. She does talks and, I think she does comedy shows.
Yeah, I believe so. I think she'll probably have one, if not right now, at Perth or Adelaide or Melbourne.
Yeah. Might reach out to Celeste. Yeah. Say, hey, get her on here. I'd love to hear some stories, actually.
Yeah, reach out. Tell us the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
And maybe she'll slap me on the face live on camera. Jim Jeffries.
Yes. Or as I like to call him, Jeffrey Nugent.
That's him.
Yeah.
Border Security, watch out. Who I saw the other night at the Comics Lounge. He's announced his biggest Australian tour to date, scaling up venue sizes nationally.
Okay. Yeah, he's probably one of our most successful modern day stand-up comedians.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And yet sort of rose to stardom without Australia's help, mostly in the UK, and then was sort of picked up by the US and had his own show in the US, and then returned to Australia from this hiatus that we didn't even know. And then he was huge, and a lot of people thought, I've never heard of this guy, but he'd done the hard yards.
And interestingly, something that I noticed with Australians is there wasn't any sort of tall poppy syndrome with Jim. There hasn't been he's had all this success internationally. Quite oftentimes when they come back, we'll be like, oh, fuck you think you're so good, but not really. We love him.
Well, the men loved him immediately. The women took a bit of time, didn't he? Because some of the jokes were about women could have been taken as misogynistic.
Sure.
But anyway, he's endured.
I do think it's important to point out as well that you don't have to love every single joke from a comedian to still enjoy that comedian's work. I definitely don't like all of Jim Jeffries' jokes. You'd be surprised, actually, at the ones I do and don't like. I won't tell you.
Well, I do like the one about gun control, the one putting a gun in a safe and, and that one. And he does it in front of an audience of Americans and that's brave, I think, and also testament to the Australian character of just putting it there and giving it directly. And
no tiptoeing around it.
No.
Heathers, the musical.
Heathers, now, is this like Bad Girls type of
it's a high school sort of
Did you have a brain tumor for breakfast?
situation. Westburg High centred around.
And Heathers are a kind of a blonde, I imagine, a blonde, glamorous type of high school girl.
Yeah, the popular girls.
Right. They're not actually called Heather, but that's kind of like the Karen. Karens are a particular type of person. And
yes, they were the Heathers, which I actually think may be a cuspy boomer Gen X thing.
Oh.
Heathers. I feel like that may be, I don't know, someone can let us know about that one.
Yep.
It's a cult dark comedy musical and its resurgence has come through TikTok actually. There's been a lot of interest in TikTok. I'm not sure if it's a trending sound or whatever. I'm not actually on TikTok.
Is that because you prefer to be spied on by the Chinese, less by the Israelis?
Look, I think we've all used to being spied on by the Chinese now. It's almost part for parcel. I mean, we know that the Chinese spies are here spying on all the Buddhist temples.
That's why I learned Chinese. Yeah, I just cut out the middleman.
100%.
Get rid of the translator. I just say directly to Xi Jinping.
Say hello to my little friend.
So, yeah, the tour is expected to draw significant crossover interest from comedy and theatre crowds alike. I do love a good comedy musical.
Yeah, and maybe this is sort of on the writing the coattails of Mormon.
The Book of Mormon.
Book of Mormon, which is also a dark comedy.
Yes.
And seems to be sort of very similar, I imagine, to Heathers in that parody type characters.
Also written by the South Park boys. The Book of Mormon.
That's right. That's right.
Very clever. For those of you who don't know, Morry has the valid but outdated opinion that South Park is lowbrow and slapstick. Because to be fair, when you were as a what generation are you?
Generation X. Click, click, glug, 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 glug.
It was the first few seasons were very much crude humour, but
Poo-poo train is my favorite thing.
now, oh my gosh! So I'm starting a campaign to get you into the more recent seasons of South Park.
Okay.
They're fantastic, very clever.
I just want to add that I grew up on the goodies. Real life acting, slapstick, absolutely, but it was real characters, not cartoon characters.
You never watched Beavis and Butthead?
Oh, awful. But anyways, yeah.
To be fair, I didn't like that one either.
No.
All right, moving on. Ben Bunkus. I think we mentioned him last week.
We didn't, but I didn't even know that he was Canadian.
My fellow Canadians.
There you go. I don't know if you know that.
You know who told me? Another Canadian.
Was it our favourite Canadian?
It was Lars Callio, who's got every single vowel in his name.
Hey, he does too. Leave some for the rest of us. Go.
Yeah.
Well, Ben Bunkus had obviously faced backlash with his set that he was going to do. He told a joke about a recent homicide. We went over it last episode. They ended up cancelling his show at that venue. It moved to another venue where it sold out with no issues.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah.
I still think the venue, I mean, again, from a venue runner's point of view, it was a safety issue. When you just don't have the staff, you don't have the staff, right?
Sure, that's right.
Insurance, all those things people don't think about come into play. But, good for him that he sold it out. I hope people enjoyed it.
Guess, at the end of the day, it all comes back to that First Amendment right, freedom of speech.
That's it. That's it.
Of course, he's Canadian, but he's in America, so the law applies to anyone who's in the country.
Yep. And quite frankly, just like protesting, if we want to be able to say what we want and protest against what we believe in, we do need to allow people who believe and want to say the opposite to us to do the same.
That's right.
That's just how it is, boys and girls.
Yeah.
We got to share.
Fantastic. So that's current events. Let's go back in time.
On February the 12th, 2014, Sid Caesar died at the age of 91. Have you heard of Sid Caesar?
Was he stabbed by Brutus?
No, he was one of the true architects of television sketch comedy through Your Show of Shows and later Caesar's Hour in the 1950s. He helped establish the live writers' room culture and the ensemble format that would go on to influence everything from Saturday Night Live to modern late-night television.
Right. Yeah, Sid Caesar. I wonder if it's Sydney Caesar. There's our connection, Australia.
There we go.
I didn't know, but there we go.
On February 13, 2000, the final original Peanuts comic strip was published, one day after the creator Charles M. Schulz died.
Ah, well, I have to say, Snoopy, which is Peanuts, isn't it? Snoopy was my baby stuffed toy.
Yeah.
So Raggedy, I had it all the way up until my wife threw it out.
Oh.
I think my son was about 5 and I thought about giving it to my son and then she thought it was too dirty and secondhand and she threw it out.
How very practical.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I feel bad now telling you the story of my first toy, which was dying, and I took it to the toy hospital before I had my first daughter so it could get fixed. And then both my children had it. And then when my eldest daughter got to grade 6, she crocheted a replica for me so I could put my old one away and still have the new one.
A body double. Right.
Oh,
That's lovely.
pouring one out for your Snoopy.
Yeah, I lost Snoopy, sadly. But I imagine
the day your innocence died.
Maybe it ended up in an op shop somewhere.
Yeah.
Someone.
And some little kid is giving it some love now.
Or it's at the bottom of a bin.
Yeah. It might be a good rag. It might be covered in terps right now, helping renovate. You never know. You never know. Oh, Snoopy. Well, Schulz had made it clear that no one else would continue after he died. So that brought one of the most syndicated and influential comic strips in history to a definitive close.
Yeah, and never solved the mystery of how Snoopy could lie on the, looked like a very sharp edge.
A-frame doghouse.
Doghouse, yeah.
Bro's got some bad back issues. Wayne's World. Wayne's World was released in the United States on February 14, Valentine's Day, 1992.
Shwing!
There we go. Adapted from the Saturday Night Live sketch created by Mike Myers and starring Mike Myers alongside Dana Carvey, it became one of the most successful Saturday Night Live spin-off films.
Yeah, now it is funny, very slapstick. I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
I was probably the right age. I think I would have been in my late teens when it came out.
Yeah, surely.
92. I was in year 12, I was 17.
Yeah, good one. I was 2, but obviously enjoyed it a little bit later in life.
Yeah.
And finally, The Chasers' War on Everything premiered on ABC on February 17, 2006, which was 20 years ago.
Wow.
Can you believe it? Created by the Chaser team, including Chaz, Craig, Andrew, Julian and Chris, the series became known for its ambush stunts and sharp political satire.
Yeah. Yeah, the Chaser today does a lot of sort of newspaper articles on social media, very parody and taking the piss. And that's where I get a lot of my news from those parody, like The Onion, for example, or the Shot.
Yep.
What else is out there? Batuta Advocate.
Batuta, yeah.
And The Chaser, which The Chasers' War and Everything was a TV show, and they've expanded. I think they've got books now, cooking books.
Yep.
A little bit like what the D Generation did as well.
Sure.
Fantastic.
And that's comedy history.
Wow.
The end.
All right.
I think it's time for beer.
A beer. And I was the one who popped in today and chose the beer. Morry was unable because his...
Whoa. Oh, my God.
He didn't even read it before he smelled it.
The smell. Herb Your Enthusiasm. It's a joke parody of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yes, the longest running TV series now. It's a raspberry and rosemary sour.
My goodness, the smell. Well, I think you've just got to let it breathe. I think the second smell, it's the air's cleared.
Yeah.
Here we go. Oh. You know those sours that you get in lolly shops, candy shops for the Americans, or sweets shops for the British, that have the sours, the little packets of sour.
It is like that.
It's a lot like that.
It says Herb Your Enthusiasm is a fruited sour ale infused with fresh raspberries and rosemary, bringing together bright berry acidity and a subtle herbal complexity. The tart raspberry character delivers vibrant colour and flavour, while rosemary adds a gentle aromatic life and savoury depth, creating a refreshing and uniquely balanced sour.
It honestly, if 3 of us were drinking gin, one of us a lemonade and another one maybe a beer, and then the waiter had come along and sort of mixed all the glasses to take away, and I've gone, hang on, I'll drink that. That's what that tastes like.
That's actually very accurate because my first thought on the first sip was gin.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
But anyway, that is from Slow Lane Brewing. It is 4.5%.
Yeah. And it's from Botany in New South Wales. Botany Bay, the place the convicts used to sing about. And we're bound for Botany Bay. maybe something to drink on a Sunday.
A cheese board, I think, would go quite well with this. It's got that savoury rosemary edge.
Yep.
Very nice. Thank you again to the wonderful people down at Swords.
Swords Beer and Wine in the South Melbourne market. Wow. All right. Well, that's beer, and I'll continue drinking my gin beer lemonade concoction.
Sure. Well, I tell you a bit of, I don't know if you know this.
I don't know if you know this, kids. Has it ever
Morry?
made you pause?
I don't know if you know this,
Well, we'll see.
but the man who invented the Pringles can is actually buried in one.
Ah, right. Is that onion and chives?
And that's my favourite flavour. No, it's actually original.
Original.
So
Right.
Fredric J. Baur
Okay.
was an American organic chemist who helped develop and patent the iconic tubular Pringles canister in the 1960s. He died on May 4, 2008 at the age of 89, and he was cremated. Before he died, he specifically requested that part of his ashes be buried inside a Pringles can. After his cremation, his ashes were divided. His family stopped on the way to the funeral home and they bought a can of original flavour Pringles, which I believe is the red can, placed a portion of his ashes inside and buried that can in the cemetery in Ohio.
Wow. Another fact, I don't know if you know this,
Ooh.
Pringles aren't technically potato chips because they're not made from one potato.
No.
They're reconstituted and about only 50% of the chip, sorry, my mouth is watering because of that sourness. It's like sucking on a lemon. I can't speak. But so technically they are potato crisps, which is what the English call our
All
chips.
chips, yeah.
Anyway. But it's a way of getting around the fact that they're not technically a potato. Each crisp is not a potato.
Right.
It is a reconstituted compound of many potatoes.
Sure, like a tin of Spam isn't just a meat; it is many meats altogether.
Inverted commas over the word meats. Yeah. And
Sure.
bone. Yeah, that's right. Oh, well, I'm not a big fan. Once I found out that they're only 50% potato and they're made from all different types of potato,
You're out.
I like my pure origin potato chips. Yeah.
I like when you slice them really fine. You don't even need a deep fryer; just a shallow fry. You slice them; they're beautiful. Lots of salt, very easy. Make your own.
Absolutely. There we go.
There you go.
Let's jump on to our interview. So I spoke to Peter Josip, spelled with a J. Is it Josip or Josip?
It's Josip, but it's spelled. I just like to say Summer of Pete.
Summer of Pete.
Summer of Pete.
He won Raw Comedy last year, 2025, and as a winner of Raw Comedy, they send you off to Edinburgh.
Wow.
That's in Scotland. And I had this interview with him. We were going to be in person, but Gmail lost my number. Who dis? And so I had this call with him earlier.
Great. Let's have a listen.
Pete Josip, how are you, sir?
I'm good, Morry. How are you?
Now, which part of the world are you in at the moment? Is it Cyprus? Is it Edinburgh, Scotland? Are you in Canada?
I am currently back home in Melbourne.
In Melbourne. You've come back. You have travelled. I did name drop a couple of countries that you've been to. So you won Raw Comedy, and off they sent you to Scotland. And
yes.
And what happens when you win Raw Comedy? What happens when they send you to Scotland?
Well, they sent me over to Scotland, and so the prize for winning Raw Comedy is that I got to compete in the So You Think You're Funny competition, which is put on by Gilded Balloon at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
Yeah.
That competition is kind of like Raw in the sense that like they've got heats all over the country. It takes months to get through. I think just over 1,000 people throughout the entire UK perform in it.
It's amazing.
In the first rounds, and then you enter that at the semi-final, which is like the second last week.
Yep.
Like towards the end of the third week in Edinburgh, and one person from each semi-final then goes into the grand final, and I was lucky enough to get through to the final.
Wow.
Which was, it was pretty fun, yeah.
That's quite rare because often our winners of Raw Comedy don't get past that.
Yeah, I think, I mean, don't quote me on this, I'm probably wrong, but someone told me that I think the last time this happened was like way back in 2012 or something, that someone got to the final.
Yeah, right.
There might have been, I don't know, I haven't done the research, but yeah, it's been a while. I do know that generally speaking, the people don't, the people who win Raw and then go into the So You Think You're Funny competition, generally speaking, don't get to the final. So I was pretty proud to get there.
Well done. Well done to you, Peter Josip. Congratulations.
Thank you, Morry.
Yeah, that's incredible. Then now I believe you didn't stick around. You didn't do London, didn't do the tours. You headed off. Did you go back to see some family first or?
I then from Edinburgh I went to Cyprus and I was there for about a month, and I was mainly just visiting family,
Yep.
and then I funnily enough, whilst I was there, the Cyprus International Comedy Festival was on, so I was lucky enough to do that.
Were you the international? Did you make it international?
Everyone was international, actually, to
Wow.
be fair.
Okay.
There were a few local acts, but obviously, for those who don't know, Cyprus is a very small country with
Yeah.
only about 1.3 million people. So the comedy scene is, literally a handful. And so that was pretty cool. There was people from the US, from all over Europe, from Canada as well. From
What about the other Cyprus? The other one we don't talk about.
No, there wasn't anyone from there. This was in the Republic, so there were shows in English and in Greek.
Yeah.
The other side, I don't know if comedy's allowed there. But yeah, no, it was that was actually quite fun as well. It felt less like a comedy festival that I've been a part of, and especially after Edinburgh, it was good because it almost felt like a school camp. It was very fun. Everyone, I mean, I didn't because I had family there, but everyone stayed together, got lunch together, ate together.
Yeah.
There were like extracurricular activities, like pottery classes. So it really was like a school camp.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I think the only thing that was missing was the giant swing.
Yeah, right. And the Flying Fox. Then Canada. So you've got family in Canada as well?
Yeah, and then after Cyprus, I went to Canada.
Wow.
And I'm lucky enough to have some family there that I was staying with, and I got there early October, and then I only got back, early Feb. Yeah, Canada went really well, honestly.
You did some stand-up?
I was in Toronto.
Yep.
I was just doing stand-up there pretty much.
Right.
I really focused on it there and wrote a lot, got a lot of material in that short amount of time, managed to get quite established in the scene, which was really cool. I've done a lot of gigs. I did like some gigs that I'd only ever heard about from American and like Canadian big comedians and like podcasts. Like I did Yuk Yuk's, and then funnily enough, a few weeks before I left, I got asked to showcase for Yuk Yuk's.
Wow.
Which was really cool, and hopefully I can go back there soon to do that.
Fantastic. So now you've built a bridge over to Canada, obviously Cyprus as well. And so you think you'll go back to Canada regularly? Yeah.
After Comedy Festival, I'm going to go back. I think it's the industries are set up different from what I realized. Obviously in Australia and the UK, it's more festival based.
Yep.
Meaning that like a lot of the industry kind of happens, from my understanding, happens like for a few months of the year, whereas they don't really have comedy festivals, so everyone's just gigging in perpetuity trying to make it. And it's interesting because it feels like there's a lot of opportunities there. Obviously being an hour away from New York City definitely helps, but like there's just such a wide range. Like the bad gigs are really bad, but the good gigs are really good. Within 2 weeks of getting there, things just happened. Within 2 weeks, I got an agent.
Wow.
And I was doing comedy, all the time there. I got asked to showcase, like I said, performed at like Absolute Comedy and Yuk Yuk's, which are the two big comedy clubs there with some big acts. Got to open for some big acts as well. So in a very small amount of time, I really managed to do a lot there, and it was really cool. Definitely coming off the momentum of Raw in Edinburgh definitely helped.
Yeah,
but,
fantastic.
Yeah, it was cool.
So it sounds like you've stepped up in terms of the comedy. You've got a lot more experience, obviously, getting up on stage, hours and hours and hours extra that you wouldn't have got normally, perhaps here, just based here in Melbourne.
Absolutely.
Well, good. And we're going to invite you back on the show because later on during the Melbourne Comedy Festival, I believe you're doing the Comedy Zone with Stella Wu, who we interviewed 2 episodes ago.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to be back.
And that highlights again the up and comingness of you as a comedian, because the Comedy Zone really does feature some of what Melbourne Comedy Festival believes to be the next superstars in comedy.
Yeah, it's a really quite an honour to be a part of it.
Fantastic. Well, we look forward to having you in our studio next time, and well done. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Morry.
That's Peter Josip, my man. He is great. I like to think I spotted him early because I had him performing at dark comedy in the Melbourne Comedy Festival a couple of years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's a very dark comedian, very funny, very lovable, both on and off stage.
Oh yeah, best guy.
Yeah, he builds goodwill with the audience and with the people that run the rooms. That's great. Well, we missed it last month. I got a couple of complaints. Funny in the moment.
Funny in the moment. I know it's been a gaping chasm in the last few podcasts.
Yeah, so funny in the moment, which sometimes gets referred to as you had to be there.
You had to be there.
And the reason for that is often it's not funny. It's funny for me. And it's situations where I find myself making a joke with some stranger and then getting a reaction. Often it's a smirk, sometimes a laugh, very unlikely a guffaw. But this one just happened last week. My son, who's 16, he's trying to end year 12. He's in year 12 now. Basically where his clothes just fall off him on the last day. They disintegrate. But it was getting a little bit out of control because he did have photos coming up, and I thought I'm going to take him to the uniform shop in Albert Park. Now, it's called Bob Stewart Uniforms.
Oh, yes, that's where I take my kids, but they're everywhere, actually.
They're
Bob
everywhere.
Stewart, yeah.
They do a great job. And we walked in there, and the ladies there were very lovely. And as I walked in with my son, who's my height, he's almost 6 foot, they said, how can we help you? Classic customer service question. And I said, well, I'd like my son to look more like a student and less like a tramp. And I got laughs.
Yeah.
There was 3 women who worked there, and they all laughed.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
And my son looked a little bit embarrassed for a second, and then he realised, oh, no, Dad's still got it.
Yeah, everyone's laughing.
Now, I have to say, I actually modified that story. I think I got the keystone wrong when I originally said it.
Sorry, so what's a keystone?
A keystone is typically the last word you say in a joke. It's a literal keystone is the stone that holds up 2 arcs of a bridge, and it's the last stone they put in a bridge. So metaphorically, it's the same thing with a joke. It's the last word of the joke and gives it away. So honestly, I think I said, I want my son to look less like a tramp and more like a student. That was probably what I did say. Still got a laugh, but in hindsight, I should have said what I just pretended to say.
Much punchier.
Which is, I want him to look more like a student and less like a tramp. And tramp is the keystone. It's the one that gives it away.
Nice. I can give that a certified seal of funny in the moment. I think when it's bum, it's going to be you just had to be there. When it's good, funny in the moment.
Hurrah!
Well, I went to the cinema and I saw Is This Thing On?
Like, is this thing on?
The original Is This Thing On that we've previously discussed. But the 2025 film with Will Arnett and Bradley Cooper, Is This Thing On?
Yeah.
And I have a little review. I'll read what I wrote down and then I'll elaborate for you. What I wrote down was good relationship movie, shit stand-up movie. And then note to self, please add more haha because I'm a millennial and even notes to myself I have to end it with a haha or a lol, otherwise it'll be too aggressive.
Yeah.
So let's start with what I liked about the film. Visually, it was interesting. The camera work was such that you definitely it tells you how to feel, whether it's very tightly shot, a lot of it. I'm not even talking like mid shots. It's top and bottom of the face cut off, like really close.
Right.
All of it seemed to be handheld, that classic, people love that sort of shaky cam look. Wasn't overdone, which it sometimes is. As a couples movie, as a romantic movie, it was really lovely. The premise is it starts with Will Arnett and Laura Dern, which, by the way, big fan of Laura Dern. I do not think this was her best work.
No. Okay.
Really quite weak and unfortunate what she's done to her face. I also think that she should be playing her age and maybe not playing down. Anyway, that's a whole other topic. Relationship-wise, beautiful. They separate. They've been together 20 years, have children. They separate and then come back together and fall in love again, and it's very nice. As a movie about stand-up, oh my God, I believe that Bradley Cooper has never done stand-up, and Will Arnett had done a little bit of club work in his 20s maybe.
Okay.
But
and what is he now? Mid-40s, late 40s, 50s?
50s.
50s, okay.
I believe. He did, I believe, a few, 6 to 8 weeks of stand-up circuit, just local New York or LA, to prepare for this role, and it shows. So not what I would call a traditional stand-up coming-up story. There was no progression in his joke writing or even his jokes. It was just very privileged. Off he went to a club. He didn't want to pay $15 to get in, so he signed up to be on the open mic, so he'd get in for free.
And I think he was trying to leave before his name got called or something. That was the original idea.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So he didn't even want to do the stand-up. He was going to have a drink and get the hell out.
Wow, yeah. So, okay, well, in the film, that wasn't even in the case. He was sort of waiting, looking forward to it, talking to the comedians. And then he bangs one of the comedians for some reason, but then that's like more of a thing. He's like, I miss my wife. It was good in that way. But yeah, look, I recommend people check it out, especially if you are in the comedy industry. I'd be very interested to hear your feedback as well.
I haven't seen it yet. No.
Just in terms of the craft. It wasn't there. It's a good movie for lay people, people outside of the industry to go, oh, wow, is that what it's like inside stand-up? Not really, in my opinion. Entry-level stand-up, hardcore in the feels relationship movie.
British comedian Jeff Green says that 10% of comedy is writing, the rest is rewriting. Sounds to me like that wasn't sort of covered in this. Like he just went from writing a joke to performing it to being a great joke.
Well, no. He just talked about his life on stage.
Right. And didn't polish, didn't add.
No, sometimes he'd sit there, there'd be, like a Rocky montage scene, where they slightly get better, where he was sitting writing stuff, but the jokes weren't jokes. It was like, I miss my wife and I'm divorced. It was, it was very rambly.
Yeah. One thing that we talk about in the Hard Not Knocks Comedy School is the truth is just the departure point. So if you're stuck on the truth, a lot of the students say, oh, this actually happened to me. And I actually pretend to look dejected and say, oh, that's a shame, because it will never be as funny as if you're able to elaborate and fabricate some of the truth, inverted commas.
Yeah, for sure.
So he tells the truth and nothing but the truth.
That's it.
And that's why it's not as good.
That's it. That's 100% it. So go out and see it for yourself. Always support the arts. But yeah, it's a miss for me.
So you're saying that you made a huge mistake.
Made a huge mistake.
Oh, dear. Well, Will, if you are in Australia anytime and want to be on the podcast, we'd love to have you on the podcast.
That's it.
Regardless of Lily's criticism of your work.
Bro, loved you in Blades of Glory.
Wonderful. All right, well, that comes to a conclusion. This has been episode 11.
That's it of This Week in Comedy.
This Week in Comedy.
And we'll be back next week, guys.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Be more entertaining. I'm glad you liked that. I just did a little bit of weight.